Hi, I'm Ray. Today we're in the greenhouse. It's bitterly cold outside again, keeping away from the wind so we can actually hear what we're doing. But during the summer we planted these geraniums and we did them from seed. And these were B&Q's seed, Verve, and it's a geranium Colorama F2 assorted. And we had a video about growing these and they did really well. And we had various stages of growth, from small flowers to big old roots. And they've done really well. And they're still flowering in the end of December. But I want to try and save some of these, as I really do enjoy the flowers on these. My garden is very susceptible for slugs, and I found geraniums are not interested with slugs, and they've actually grown quite a tree. And we've got a nice big trough of geraniums in the front garden, and they've been really good, and I've been really pleased. These geraniums are the zonal ones. There's a pretty pattern on the leaves. But today I'm going to overwinter them, and there are several ways that we can overwinter the geraniums. So let me show you what we're going to do. So the geraniums I've got in the front of the house are in a long trough, and they're going to get hit by frost quite easily. So I'm just going to remove some. So we'll just take a little trip to the front of the house and I'll remove some of the geraniums from the long trough. So this is our geranium, and I'm just going to dig down into the roots and remove it from the trough. And there we go. I'm just going to remove all the soil, and that's our geranium. So I'm back in the greenhouse, and this is the geranium that we got from the trough outside, and I'm just going to remove the dead flower head and this dead leaf on the side here. And in the old days they just used to have some newspaper and they just used to wrap them up. So the old traditional way would be just to get your piece of newspaper, and they would just wrap them up in the newspaper like you would a bouquet of flowers, and then they just used to stick them under the bed and then just bring them out in the springtime, pot them up, and they reflower. So that was the old traditional way of just wrapping them up in newspaper. And several people that I've spoken to over the last few days about their geraniums, they just leave them in the greenhouse and let them overwinter. It's also a good job to go through your pots, remove any dead leaves and also any dead heads, removing the leaves and removing the stalk, and then we can just leave these in the unheated greenhouse. And if we do get any frost, then maybe just cover them with some bubble wrap or some newspaper, just making sure they're not touching the glass of the greenhouse and not too close to the edge, and just keeping an eye on the temperature, just putting some wrapping around the outside. Another way to overwinter the geraniums is to use a cardboard box, and we can remove some of the higher growth and we can put them into a cardboard box and just leave them in there, shut the lid. We don't want to be using any plastic containers, we need airflow, so all we need to do is to write the colour red geranium, and that can go into the garage or into a larder or into an under cupboard, and let that go until the spring, and then bring it out in the spring and it will regrow again. So I'm quite pleased with the results of my geraniums, and we're going to try various ways to overwinter, because they might not all get through the winter, and doing various methods we should get a few, but it'd be interesting to see which the best result will be. So you can always take your geranium flowers inside, if they're in a nice pot, and grow them indoors as a houseplant. You just need to remove any of the rubbish, the dead leaves, or old flower heads. And this will quite happily sit indoors on the drier side, doesn't need too much water, and it'd be quite happy to grow as a house plant inside the house. So if you've got several smaller geranium plants that we've dug out, then we could also use one big pot and just resow it back into the pot and keep all the geraniums all together in one place. And these can be kept in the greenhouse or indoors in the garage or a nice cool area. Just need to remove the flowers and the dead leaves, and away we go. Now they're all ready for storage in the greenhouse. So the main things to remember is that they require bright light, low temperature and not much water. So let me know, have you grown geraniums? Have you grown geraniums from seed? And also, are you overwintering any geraniums? And do you overwinter them any other way? Let me know in the comments, and that'd be wonderful. So, thank you very much for now. Cheers!